What's up guys, welcome back to another video, and today we have Cypher setups that are updated for patch 3.01. And before you think, oh man, this patch is outdated or like this video is outdated, well, here's the thing. Maps don't change, and if they do change I will update, but when they don't change, usually the meta gets figured out, and yeah, old stuff is still viable. So instead of pretending like, you know, the old setups are new for some reason, or that the old setups are not the meta, because they are, I decided to reference the setups that didn't change. So in the description you'll find some links to videos that have setups that didn't change and are still meta, in my opinion, that I use to solo queue to Immortal. Some stuff did change, and out of the things that did change was Ascent B site, Breeze A and B, and then you have Icebox B site as well as Split A site. And yeah, for those I'll just go through it in the order that I mentioned them in, and I hope you guys will enjoy this. So starting with Ascent B site, it's that wallbang setup from back of site, and the way you set it up is pretty simple. You just put the same tripwires, the same smokes, and you position in the same place back there. And yes, tripwires like that, triggers if they walk through, cage like this, and here's what it looks like when they try to go through it. And now here's the thing, sometimes enemies try to shoot it out and go slowly out on lane. And what you can do in order to counter this is to set up a not a tripwire, but cage like that in the window, and then position for the boxes here on site. And when you activate this cage, it shows enemies' feet like a one-way, and it works from this position, but not that one, because then you will get seen. Here's a new setup that I haven't shown before, that I don't think I've shown before, at least on here on YouTube. But you place the camera here. It's no big deal if it, you know, doesn't turn all the way. You ping where enemies walk in, and the thing is, you need an Ares or an Odin or Guardian or Sheriff, something with high wall penetration. Tripwires, cages, you know, you can put up anything, doesn't really matter. The thing is that you want something to protect you in case they rush through. And when the round starts, enter the camera, ping, and then just spam. Spam right that spot, because that's head level on the other side of the wall. And you can see that it's head level because of the height of the box there. Here for Split A, instead of having the camera outside, I put the camera inside, and this is for the one-way on ramp. The setup for, you know, outside still works. Tripwire goes here, make sure that enemies can't crouch under it or jump over it. And then the lineup for the cage has changed as well. Use this lineup here, and now you just send it out, and that's it. This is a one-way for ramp. And before we get to the spot, we got a tripwire mid as well, just in case enemies run in. And the reason I tripwire mid instead of A main now is because once enemies are through A main, it's not like they're gonna run up through screens and up to you. Instead, you want to stop people coming from mid. Here's the position. The camera sees everything. You see if enemies move in close to the wire, activate the cage, and now you shoot. And you can also wallbang in case they step around the corner, like that. And there as well. Then for Breeze, here's for A site. The same tripwire for that one-way, and the same one-way of course as well. So enemies can't crouch under, enemies can't jump over, unless they're jet. But yeah, no big deal. And then you do the one-way here. We send out a couple of them just to make it easy to display. And here's what it looks like when you activate it. You can shoot enemies pretty easily. Here's what it looks like from their side. They have no vision at all, and it's pretty difficult to deal with. Then after I do that setup, I move to mid, or well, to A site, and set up a tripwire for mid, so that my teammates can be covered if they run from mid to A. And then once the round is started, camera goes here, and now I can see enemies push out, and I use this spot here for wallbanging. And if you don't get a tag, you don't have to wallbang. You can also dry peek, but I like to be sneaky with the wallbangs here. Tag, shoot, bam. And let's say that an enemy triggers the tripwire behind you. You're like alerted. Whoa, tripwire. Activate the cage. That's how easy it is to defend here. So yeah, new update. I feel like this is more consistent than the other one. Camera for B goes up here. This is a new updated setup as well. And then tripwire would usually go here, but now it's on the tower. Tripwire like that blocks off a very common planting spot, and you can also cage. Then a tripwire goes there to stop enemies running through the pillar on the corner. Cage, cage. And I position in the back, depending on how you want to play. I use a Phantom sometimes, I use Vandal sometimes, but depending on how you want to play, you can just cage, shoot through cages, and you'll be fine. Keep in mind that enemies can molly you though. And there's another one. So you have a lot of protection because of the natural cover. For Icebox, the thing they changed here is that if I don't have a Sage, I go for that tripwire to stop enemies coming through kitchen. And then I have one tripwire left, which I put here on B site like this. You can also put it next to the planting spot like this. And it depends on how much variety you want. I typically go for this one like once every side or something, because it really isn't that difficult to avoid it. So for the camera, you place it up here and you jump. You don't need any high ground. You can see enemies when they run in, when they sneak in, and they can shoot out the camera, and it's no big deal if they do, because that's information for you and you usually get to see them before they shoot it. Then position up here. And the reason for that is because you have a tripwire kitchen and you can wall bang. You can easily shoot through the wall here, and you can see if enemies go under the bridge and under the tunnel or tube, whatever you want to call it. And it's just a great spot for the setup. Keep an eye on yellow though, because enemies can push up there and shoot you from the side. So when enemies come in, see them there, activate cage and just shoot. Just shoot. You're protected from yellow unless they run up to the side. If enemies trigger the tripwire here in kitchen, instead of running through, to kitchen like this, just wall bang instead, because that's less time to run, and enemies usually back up into the tube, and it's just nice. The second setup, tripwires go like this. This is when you don't need a tripwire in kitchen, and you can do both tripwires like this. However, if you feel like, man, I really need some protection for yellow as well, then you can move this tripwire from there to yellow. But first, yeah, camera, and then the tripwire and cages as well. And this tripwire here on yellow, plus a cage, helps your teammates holding on sight. And then positioning by Snowman. And the reason for this positioning is so that when enemies come in here, or if we hear them running on the metal, you can shoot them as they enter, like this. And this one here, this spot, has a very nice headshot angle, where let's say that they run in, and you hear the metal, like I mentioned, over there. Wait for them, you can activate the cage and wait for them to peek over the cage, and then you shoot their head, and bam, they're dead. So yeah, this is the setups. Hope you guys enjoy this. Thanks so much for watching. Hope you guys will get good games, and again, if I get new setups, I'll update, I'll show, and much love to you all for watching. Thanks so much. I'll see you guys next time. Take care.